Greetings, fellow Arkansmiths. I'm James Smith with Knights of the Smith Dinner Table, coming at you with episode 13 of my tips and tricks videos. So, as everybody knows, 0.3.1.56 just came out a few days ago, and with it came a new feature, the ability to put links right on your maps. So, we're going to hop right into that. I'm going to cover that real quick, and then after that, there's a couple other things I want to discuss, but we'll get to that here in a few minutes. So, the way that you do this, and I'll show you real quick, as you notice on my map, got all these little purple and green things. These are the actual links. When you click on it, well, if I can get it to cooperate, there you go. When you click on it, it'll bring up the Encyclopedia entry, or your journal entry, or quest entry, whatever you want to call it, right for that room. So you got the description of the room up here, and everything else that I put, excuse me, in the Encyclopedia. Now, if we close that, you can also link music. Actually, I think that one takes a while to build up. There we go. So you can link the music, other sound things. And the other really nice thing is you can also link direct links to maps. Let me shut this off. That way you guys don't have to listen to it the whole time I'm talking. And then I am going to show you how you do that real quick. So the way you do it is you go over here in the cartographer. And first thing you notice is there are a few changes here, a few changes to the UI. Poke around, find them. They're actually really good, really useful changes, like the little toggle switches here. And now the cartographer saves the state of the fog of war. Just a little thing to remember. So to add portals, you do have to be here on the DM tools. Click here and say I want to create a link to another map. Sorry, my mic is right in the way of my keyboard. And once you start typing, it's going to start filling in down here. So if I just want that, and then say I want to put that down here because that's where they go to the next map. If you look, each one's got a different icon. So once this is in place, we go back over to scenario. And when I click on this, it's going to ask me if I want to load. Unsaved changes. Yes, I'm going to load anyway. And it pops me right into the next map. This is going to save you a lot of time when you're running the game, and it's going to make the game run 100 times smoother. Now, that's all fine and dandy and everything, and it's actually really easy to do, as you can see. Let's go back over to the cartographer and say I want to add an entry here. So I'll type in what I want, and this would be a quest one, which right now you can delete just by selecting it and hitting delete. Or the tricky part is with the soundscape. So you have to know which set it is in. So if you look there, it's not what I'm looking for. So let's say camp, and then here, and then we got the sound set just like that. Real easy to do, really handy to have. It's going to be something that's going to really set things apart from the other ones, because when you're in scenario, you don't have to pop back and forth. You don't have to pop your journal up all the time and block up part of your map. You can actually stay focused. The only complaints I have about it is the fact that it is still a fairly large icon, so it can get a little cluttered on your screen. Hopefully he'll give us the option to resize them, make them a little smaller, so that way they don't take up as much real estate on our screens. All right, so that pretty much covers that. Dante's going to do a tutorial about it here before long, so I won't step on his toes and do a complete full tutorial about it. But there is something else I wanted to show you guys. Kind of want to touch back on my first episode with walls and repeatables and things like that. So a lot of things have changed with the repeatables. So let me get over to the repeatables. And I'm just going to use a color wall because it's going to be nice and easy to see on my black background. So, as I've said before, you've got your basic one. Here, let me kill the fog of war to make this a little easier to see. So, you got your basic wall. Then, you can change the size. Now, one thing to remember is 0.18 is the native size. That's what it pops up as. I know it says 0.48 there, but that's not the size. 0.18 is the native size. Let me bring up 4.8 so I can show you the difference in the size. That way you don't make the mistake. It is a little bit bigger. And when you zoom in, just a little bit bigger. However, when you go to 0.5, oops, quite a jump in size there. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on. That is a little minor thing that does need to be touched up, because I think if you go 0.47, if I remember right, it's very similar. Now, I typed in 0.48, it came up with the 0. Really close to the 0.18. So let me try again. And that's how it goes. So it comes up reading in a 0.48 starting. It's really not 0.48, it's 0.18. Basically, play with the size of your walls, things like that. What's really cool is, especially like, say, this is an exterior wall here. Let me get rid of these real quick. And actually, I'm going to go back to the native. So, your typical exterior wall. When you're building your interior walls, I always recommend reduce the size, because if you look, excuse me, just one second. If you look at most buildings, the interior walls are usually considerably thinner. And the way I represent that when I'm building a map is just like that. I reduce the size. That gives you kind of a more realistic feel to the map. It also is just another one of those little things that really pops out the flavor. Now, something else you can do with these, and I am going to bring up another map here in a minute to show you, is these can be used as color lines with the color walls. So if you just shut off this and this here under lighting, it'll now just be a regular color line on the ground. And I'll show you the effect of that here in just a few moments when I switch maps. The other part I wanted to touch on was windows. With windows having been added to several packs, placing them, I know a lot of people, what they do, I don't know why I did that. All I need to do is go to Objects, select my windows, and my primary windows are the ones made by Bogey. I believe I have them in my pack. If not, oops, that's Doors by Bogey. This is Windows by Bogey. If not, I will update everything and get them in. So I know what a lot of people want to do is just place the window right on the wall. That's all cool and everything, but when you do that, you either have to get rid of the shadows for the wall. Let's bring those back. Or you get rid of the shadows for the wall, and then you come up here to lighting and you place a barrier. And then you got that. That way's all fine and everything, and it works. However, to me, it doesn't look quite as aesthetic as the way that I've been doing it here of late. And this is just my personal preference. I think it looks a whole lot nicer when you do it this way. So what I do is, let me erase that barrier. So I place my wall down, put the windows on it exactly like everybody else does. Then I delete the wall out from underneath. I go back to my repeatables, walls, color, and then I come in just like this. Once I've done that, I come in here and I adjust, and I adjust, and it gives you a really nice looking window that's well placed inside the wall. And even better, I'm going to drop some tile here so I can put lighting down. I clicked on the wrong thing. This is going to take a second to load. Alright, so we're going to throw this tile down because it's nice and bright. You can see it, and I apologize if it's really rough on the eyes. However, it's going to prove my point here in a second. So, go back to Objects, come down to, whoops, I passed it, Furniture, Light, and we're just going to use your typical wooden brazier. Going to light it up. So, as you can see, it lets the light through, and it lets it through correctly. When you move the light, it changes everything, and this is going to be important with your line of sight stuff because people can see through windows as long as there's no curtains or anything that are blocking the way. Now, if you want to put something in, or like if you don't want them to be able to see through the window, you can do that by doing this. Now, the thing that you're going to notice is, unlike the way it used to do, you can actually see the whole object now. So they can still tell that there's a window there. They can still, if they wish, have their character bust through it, what have you. However, it just adds an extra little bit of, what's the word I'm looking for? Detail. Detail's the word I'm looking for. That really helps make things look nice. The other way you can do this is, rather than making that light up or make that block light, you can also add curtains, which are down here in structures under the official windows. So you can add a curtain. I'm just going to use the big one. Right now it doesn't block light. However, that can quickly be fixed by doing that, and then they can tell that it's a curtain. Another little details thing. I'm a little OCD when it comes to creating my maps. That's just me. Go to whatever level of detail you feel comfortable with. All right, so the thing I was talking about before with the color lines. I didn't want to load this map in right away because this map takes a very long time to unload because it is a huge map. So we're going to give it a moment to load. And once it's loaded, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Now, this is one of those maps that proves there's really no size limit on the maps that you can create with the Master's Toolkit. This map is 300 squares wide by 400 squares tall. Add to that, it has multiple buildings and lots of other little fun things that I've put in. There's going to be a point up here where I'm going to put a link to another map that goes to an underground section. Come on, map. That's a problem with the big maps with lots. I'm thinking there's probably 400 or 500 objects on this map, so even with my beast of a machine, it takes it a few seconds to load. All right, there we go. So what I was saying about the colors, the color walls. As you can see here, I've got this nice big airfield with a runway, and I've outlined it with the white walls. And what happened? Oh, no, nothing happened there. Then over here, I've got a parking lot with all the parking spaces denoted. Now, before we could shut the shadows and everything off on the walls, you couldn't do this. Now you can use these to create things like, especially with modern maps, when you've got roads, you can put your little checker line down the middle of it. And it really helps things, really brings a level of realism to it that you don't normally see in a lot of maps. The other thing I like to do is, and everybody saw my video before about the edging, the edges repeatables. Whoops. So they're here. You have to have the wild, and here under edges and wall edges. These are my favorite things in the world to show kind of like outline stuff. Like we got the sidewalk here, and to make it kind of stand out, I did put edging around it. I didn't do it around the blacktop just because blacktop typically, let me come over to a section that doesn't have it. So you got the edge of the line here, and I may yet go back and add it in. Apparently I cannot draw a straight line. Yep, that looks better. So as you can see, it just, when you're using the colors and everything, it comes up really nicely. Another map where I can show you that would be here at Trinity Springs Elementary School. Yes. So when you come over here, once again, I used this time a yellow line, just narrowed down. Let me zoom in on it so you can see it better, and it's going to pop up all the way across. Really, really detailed thing. Like I said, I get really OCD about my maps. So I put in all the little details I can. Like here in a moment, you're going to see everything's going to go dark. You're going to see street lights and everything. Just little things like that that make the map really pop. And you can also see, and like I said here, here's the yellow lines. For the sidewalks here along the road, it's taking it a second because this is another big map. I edged it again right along the blacktop. So just a couple of extra things that you can do. The big thing though is that we do now have the ability to link maps, music, sound, well, not music, we can link presets. Let me rephrase that, presets. We can't do actual separate sound effects, separate music and all of that yet. That is coming though. It's going to be in a future release, probably with the sound. Yeah, probably going to be in the sound update when he revamps all the sound stuff. All right. One other thing that I wanted to talk about, and this is nothing really to do with the toolkit directly, but we are less than a month from GenCon. For those of you who don't know, and I mean, if you don't know what GenCon is and you're a gamer, you probably have your head in the sand. But for those of you who don't know, GenCon is the world's largest tabletop RPG convention. Last year, there were around 65,000 people in attendance. I was one of them, as was my wife. This year, they're expecting it to be even higher, and badges are almost sold out for it. Now, the reason why, if you can, get a badge and go to GenCon is Nathan and Dante from Ark & Forge will be there. I will be there as well, helping them. We're going to be there all weekend, from Thursday through Sunday. We're going to be in the events hall, and we're going to be doing demos for the toolkit all weekend. I think it's 8 hours a day. So feel free, get tickets, badges, come in, see us, say hi, share stories, share mapping tricks. You may know something that I don't know. I am always open to new techniques. Maybe we can find more stuff that Nathan and Dante never expected people to be able to do with this program. Other than that, come and have a good time. Play free games. All throughout the event hall and the vendors hall, they have free trials of games. If you do come, you can also sign up to do 4-hour sessions like Pathfinder Society, Wizards of the Coast runs something for D&D. And I think all the Pathfinder Society is going to be Pathfinder 2nd Edition this time. Lots of other games out there. Pardon me. Expose yourself to something new. Be ready to be around a lot of people, though, because while the Indianapolis Convention Center is very big, especially the exhibitors hall gets very crowded. Don't be in a rush. Take your time getting places here. Come just planning to be there all day, each day that you're coming. Also, if you like good food, they have amazing food trucks there. Always good food, always a good time. I have yet to have a bad time at GenCon in the 15 plus years I've been going on and off. So if you can, come out and see us, say hi, buy us beer if you want. All right, other than that, I'm going to go ahead and call this episode done. Glad to see everybody again, and hopefully in a couple of weeks I'll have something new to share with you guys. Other than that, you know what, guys know what to do. Like, subscribe, click the bell so you get the warning whenever I'm coming up, and also make sure you're watching our live streams. We're going to be looking at possibly starting a GoFundMe, so that way we can get some better sound equipment, because we have been having sound issues. If you think starting the GoFundMe is a good idea and you'd like to help us out, get better equipment, let us know in the comments, hit me up on Discord, whatever way you can, just let us know. The live stream is both on this YouTube channel as well as our Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/KnightsSmithDinnerTable. No spaces, no other little words, anything like in there. It's just all kind of crammed together. If you do a search for Knights of the Smith Dinner Table, it will take you to Twitch and to our YouTube page. So, like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys all later.